Hello everybody. With Rosh HaShanna approaching fast, and then the 10 days of Tshuva, Yom Kippur, it's very important for us to have a proper understanding of what Rosh HaShanna is and what needs to be our work in preparing ourselves for this great day, Rosh HaShanna. The Day of Judgment is the way that our Sidurim, Machzorim translate the day of Rosh Hashanah. That it's a day when we're all coming in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and He's going to be judging each one of us and deciding what's going to be our fate for the next year, how much money we're going to earn, what type of health we're going to have. Everything is going to be decided on Rosh Hashanah. But there's a serious question that we need to ask ourselves. If Rosh Hashanah is the day of judgment, that we're being judged for everything that we've done, so what's left after we die and we go up to the heavenly court? Someone who dies a week after Rosh Hashanah, are they only judged for a week? Because every Rosh Hashanah they've already been judged. You can't judge someone twice for the same things. That's not fair. And God is perfectly fair. So maybe we've got something wrong in our understanding of what type of a day of judgment Rosh Hashanah is. Imagine yourself as a businessman who has a number of different branches to his business. Once a year, you're going to do an annual budget. You're going to look at the performance of each one of your branches. How did this branch perform in the last year? And according to that, you're going to decide how you're going to invest in this branch in the coming year. And your decision is going to be based on performance. So let's say you have two branches, one in the north of the country and one in the south. So when you look at the branch in the north of the country, you see that, look, last year I invested $1 million in that branch. And I got a return of $100,000. We made a profit in that branch of $100,000. That's not bad. I've got another branch in the south, though, where I only invested $100,000. And I got a return of $50,000. We made a profit in that branch of $50,000. That's a 50% return on my investment. So when I'm now considering where to invest next year, am I going to say, well, in the northern branch I made $100,000 profit and in the southern branch only a $50,000 profit, so I should be investing in the northern branch? No, you're not going to say that. You're going to look at the return according to the amount invested. You're going to look at the percentage return that you got for what you invested. So in the northern branch, you've got a 10% return on your investment. You gave them $1 million. You got back 100,000, 10%. But in the southern branch, where you only invested 100,000, you got a return of 50,000, a 50% return on your investment. So when I'm considering as the businessman now, the CEO, where I'm going to invest next year, I'm going to invest in the southern branch because that's where I'm getting the biggest return. The same thing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with God. We are all branches in His global business. Each one of us is a branch. And at Rosh Hashanah, He's doing His annual budget. And He's deciding how to invest in each branch. And He's looking at what return he got for the last year. It could be that a branch where he invested a lot, earned a lot of money last year, had good health last year, had a lot of free time to do things apart from just your work last year. Everything was going well. Peace at home, children getting on fine. And what was my return? Look, says Hashem, I only got a 10% return. Yeah, the guy gave a bit of money to charity. Yeah, the guy spent a little bit of time learning Torah. Yeah, he did some good things. He did some good deeds. He helped people. But not that much compared to what I invested in. But look at this other guy who last year maybe didn't earn so much money, and he didn't have such good health, and he had a lot of problems at home. And yet, this guy gave a lot of charity last year. This guy did a lot of good deeds last year, helped other people. This guy made time to sit and learn Torah last year. So that is the southern branch. That's a good investment. That's where I may invest my money next year. And there may be branches where a lot was invested. People had a very good time, but they didn't really give anything back in return at all. And you never know. Branches like that may be closed down. Branches that show potential, they'll be invested in more. They'll be watched more. Let's see how these guys are getting along. That is what is happening at Rosh HaShanna. And it's not the final reward for everything that we've been doing. This world isn't a world for getting rewarded. This world is a world of trials. As the Mesilat Yesharim says, the Ramchal in his introduction. Everything that happens to us in this world is a trial. Being rich is a trial. What are you going to do with your wealth? Are you just going to laze around on the beach in the south of France? Or are you going to do something with your wealth? What about health? Good health. What are you going to do with your good health? Are you going to use your good health to help and do good things? Or are you just going to use your good health to show off your muscles? Everything is a trial. Being poor is a trial. What are you going to do with your poverty? Are you going to sit and cry at home all day that you're poor? Or are you going to still get up and do things? Bad health is also a trial. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit and cry all day? Or are you going to get up and do things? How are you going to cope with your situation? Every one of us has his own trials, and every one of us has to deal with them. And no one wants anyone else's trials. We'll all just manage with our own. Life is for trialing. It's for trials. Rosh Hashanah, Hashem is looking at how we dealt with our trials last year and how much He got back on His investment in us, because that's what He wants. Yes, He's a global CEO and He is looking for a return on His investment. We are His branches. Each one of us individually is a branch of His. So if that's the understanding of Rosh Hashanah, what is our work for Rosh Hashanah? For coming up to Rosh Hashanah, our work is to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we are a good investment. That's why we're going into Rosh Hashanah with our head up high, and we're saying, look, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I am going to be a great investment for you next year. Invest in me. That is what Rosh Hashanah is about. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to be a good investment. And of course, in the days leading up to Rosh Hashanah, we need to prove that to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we are a good place for Him to invest. And that is our work coming up to Rosh Hashanah, to consider what type of a return we've been giving HaKadosh Baruch Hu on His investment, and to think how we can give Him a better return. May we all have Shana Tova next year. May we all be written in the book of life, long life, good health and happiness. And may we all be a good investment for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody.